Hello and welcome back to another episode of Farming Life at LaForge. So tomorrow morning, myself and Dad are heading off to the Mart. Hopefully we'll come back with the trailer full, so I'll bring you around, show you that, and yeah, see what I can video there tomorrow. It will be early. The Mart, I believe, starts around 6:30, 7, so it'll probably still be dark out. I don't know how much I'll get to film, but I'll film what I can, and yeah, hopefully we have the trailer full when we get back. Today, however, Dad is going to be opening up the maize pit. So actually we've already opened up the maize pit a while ago when we had the weanlings, but now that the weanlings have gone, we actually haven't used it in a few days, so he's going to be taking off that first layer off the maize pit that would have gone off a small bit over the past few days, and I'll give that to the cows first. So we'll also show you the Emily bucket in action, and he'll talk to you a little bit about the maize pit. I'm not sure what else is going to be in today's video, but in any case I hope you guys enjoy it. So if you do enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more episodes on our farming lives here in France. So I'm here editing the video now, and I completely forgot to mention we are going to be doing a Christmas special. So I don't know when this video is going to be up, either the Thursday or the Friday, but we'll also have a video up on Christmas, so it'll be a second video. A little bit different than our normal videos. We're probably going to sit down, I don't know, we might have a few stories from when we were back in Ireland, maybe a bit of cooking and obviously a bit of farming. I'm not exactly sure what's going to be in it yet. We still have to make the video and get it up. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Also, if you have any questions for us, you can leave them down in the comments, and whether it's from myself, Mum or Dad, and we'll answer them on Christmas video.
Now, we're at the maize. The bit of it on top there gone a bit off because we had stopped for 3 or 4 days. All the weanlings are gone now, but we're back now. So I just use it the first couple of goes to the cows. A small bit, but that's mainly it. And I find that great to stop the pit heating. The maize pits are a devil for heating. So that's all. We're going to feed cows now and finish vaccinating.
So myself and Dad are here in the Mart, and we have just bought 8 salaires.
So we're here with Laura. She's after buying 8 Salare cattle. It's 7 o'clock, half 7 in the morning, Monday morning, and we're on the way home from the Mart. So she bought 8 Salares. The worst of the year.
Can't hear you anyways. Lexi, out!
Whose are they?
They're mine.
All yours or Catherine?
All mine. Out! Okay, so myself and Dad are back from the Mart. So you've probably seen footage. We were at the Mart there this morning. So I bought Salare fluffies. Now they're just settling in. We have them bedded now and fed a bit of maize. I'll show you guys in a second. So why did we buy Salare weanlings? So for those of you who follow along the channel, you probably know that last year I bought some calves. So I bought some dairy calves cross and reared them up on the milk bucket and sold them off. So they did okay, but they didn't do too great. So this year, instead of buying calves again, I decided to buy what we call fluffies. They seem quite calm, which is another good point. I don't know what the actual name for a fluffy is. We call them that. Well, actually Dad calls them that. He used to hang around in Ireland with a lad called Tricky Joe, and they used to always go off to the Mart together, and this lad Tricky, he'd always be, or Joe, I don't actually know his real name, he'd always be buying fluffies, and they'd go around, so he named them that because probably they always have a fluffy belly on them. So he named them that, and then Dad picked up that name, and now that's what I call them. So yeah, these are my first fluffies. Actually, Dad I believe bought his first fluffies on the day Luke was born. Mum might not like the story, but when Mum was up giving birth to Luke, she sent Dad down to the car park to get the camera out of the car, and I believe Tricky Joe was in the car park, or he ran into him or something, and then Dad actually bought 5 fluffies that day off Tricky Joe while he ran down to get the camera. So I don't think Mum was too happy actually when he came back. Now these are my first fluffies, these are Salares, so it's our first Salares as well. And yeah, hopefully sell these now in March, April and see how they do. Hopefully they'll do a lot better than the calves. And then this year I also have my kid goats, who you can probably hear in the background. So yeah, this is my first herd. So these here are Salares. I bought them at the Mart this morning, and yeah, I'm actually very, very happy with them. We got them nice and cheap. So the reason generally the fluffies are cheaper is because they'll either be the younger ones in the group, and then farmers, especially around here, they'd be taking them out because they base the weanlings when they're selling them off an average weight. So they might take out the ones that are lighter so that they don't bring down the average weight of the group, and then they'd bring them to the Mart and sell them separately. Come on. So I have bought 8 of them. So just put them in, 4 in each pen. So for the setup at the Mart, the cattle all go in one end and come out the other. It is actually a very, very good setup. So if you're buying cattle, you have to be you have to have a registered account, so basically they just have to know who you are. And then you get a buyer's number. So you'll have a number, say, I don't know, like 304 or something like that. And so no one knows. So when you buy cattle, they don't know who's bought it. It's all anonymous. And then you get a buzzer, and the buzzer has a different number again. And then on that day you'll get a random numbered buzzer, and you can either get a buzzer or you can actually get a seat at a table. So just in front of the ring of the mart, there's some tables with buttons on them underneath, and then you can be clicking away there, or you can have a buzzer in your pocket and be up with where the sellers would be basically. And so yeah, it's done like that. And then when you buy, it comes up the buyer's number instead of the buzzer's number, so no one actually knows who bought them. And yeah, so that's all quick. From putting the cattle in to getting the cattle out is about an hour, maybe an hour and a half if there's a lot of cattle there. There does always seem to be a good lot of cattle. It is quite a good mart. Cattle go in one end, so they put up the males first, and then comes along the females, and then comes along cows and older cattle, say. So you know, if you want females, you go in at a certain time. If you want males, you go in at a certain time. And then when the cattle go through the ring, if they're sold, they go off to one side. If they're bought, they go off to another. And because you have a registered number, so say all the dealers who'd come to see us on the farm, they'd also be there. They'd have their big trucks, and they're always kind of parked in the same spot. So all the cattle that you buy will then be sorted out for you, so they go straight to a pen that has your number on it. So have the same number, and then any cattle you buy will go in there. For the dealers again who have lorry loads, they'll actually start loading them up on the trailer. So you'll have the buyer who'll be in the ring buying, and then the lorry driver of the truck will actually be outside loading them up with the lads in the mart. So according as they buy them, they're already up in the trailer, and once the trailer's full, then they're ready to go. So there's no hanging around. And we got up and left here probably about 5:30 that morning, and we were back by 8:30 that same morning with the cattle. So it was nice and quick. They were some of the first ones to be put through the ring. Maybe within a half an hour getting there, we had them already bought, and then the second they were bought, we just left with the number, gave them the buzzer, and then they told us that where the pen was to collect them all, and we just went in and exchanged them for the cards. So the mart is a very good setup. I didn't really get to go around and film because I was too concentrated on looking for everything when buying. Dad would be used to it. I wouldn't be too used to it. Just looking at ages. We didn't go to buy Solaires. Mainly it's all Limousine and Chevrolet. But yeah, they came along, and like I said, I'm still very happy with them. I've 8 of them now. And yeah, so they're all in here. They seem to be quite calm. This is what we started to feed them. So it's a mix of maize and a small bit of meat in there. Don't know how well you can see it. They seem to be eating it. So just separate them into 4 and 4, just to keep them nicely bedded and so there's plenty of space. And then down here we have a few Dad's limousines as well. So a few pens. So they're just 4 that on the last lot were just too young to go to Italy. So they'll probably be sold then at the same time as my lads as well. And also in this shed is my lovely goats. So there they all are now. They've all been weaned off the milk. Well, there's still a small few of the second batch, the younger ones that are in there on the milk. So when they get to 15 kilos, that's when we take them off. Soon when we get the other ones weaned, I just have to weigh them now in a few days time, see how they're doing, and when they're weaned off the milk, then either here or move them all up to Mama's big goat shed. And what are you doing? And then we'll be playing with the lights with them. So I think first up it's putting the lights on at 6 AM and turning them off at 12 PM. So the lights is to de-season them so that they come in kid, and they'll be ready for kidding in September. So that's when they'll be looking for kid goats. That's when they'll be looking for goats to be kidding, so that they can start milking them then straight away.
So we have the digger back in the workshop here. Just grease it, give it a bit of a check over. It's gone over to the other farm now. Has a small bit of digging, but mainly feeding the cattle. Save me going back and forth every day. Now the last 5 or 6 days has been very cold. Today, is, believe it or not, it's 18 degrees again. I don't like that, believe it or not. Yesterday morning was minus 11, and it has been freezing fog for the last 4 or 5 days, maybe more. Putting out 16 and 18 bales a day. It's amazing the way the weather changes. And this morning, then we only had half the amount to put out, because even the cattle in the shed will eat more when it's really cold. So that's one good thing about the heat, but the worst thing about the heat now when it's cold and hot is the danger of the cows getting pneumonia. So they're all vaccinated except one group, well, the second vaccination. So anyways, this digger, it'll be over another place, so I'm putting these, it's a safety box for holding the key, then I bolt it on there, and you just put in your own number. Now, I often leave the keys in it, but sometimes even if I'm digging up the field and I have to come back in a hurry for cow calving or anything, I often put the keys in my pocket, and then I change my trousers and I go back and the keys are here, and I have to come back again out the other farm. So Emily has them on the houses that we set out. That's the first place I seen them actually. I thought they were a good idea. So I'll bolt it on there. If anyone really wants to get in, they will, but the only reason I do lock it, when it's here in the yard I never lock it. I do keep a lot of tools in it in case I have a burst pipe or anything like that. So you just put in your own code, and when I'm finished on the digger, just throw the key in there, and well, and then I don't have to be bringing it in my pocket. So I'm going to do it with this one, with the digger and the TM, because the TM I do leave park places as well if I have to abandon ship when I'm if there's cows calving or when I'm hedge cutting. So they work real well in the houses that we set out for holidays, and so it'll just now you could hide the key on the machine, but like I said several times, we never had an issue here with anything being stolen or anything, and as well as that, even the house or here in the yard, the doors of the workshop is never locked. So finished spraying now as well, getting into winter mode. Have to take that off this evening or tomorrow. Have to put on another machine there we use around the field, and show you a few more things. So a load of scrap went off as well there as well, so if we kind of kept what we want. So these are just old small little RSJs. Now the other half of them were rotten, they were stuck in the clay, but I'm going to use them out in the corner of fields for holding. I'll tie an egg insulator on there, and they'll do for the electric fences in the corners, and they'll be good and strong, and especially in maybe wet places. That's good scrap, as I call it. So we cleaned it all up. There's one more lorry load of scrap to go. The lads that got this now were just lads to come since we came here, and they take about 2 small pickups a year over here. But the scrap now is nearly at its end here, so we use this old bin here for holding the scrap, and then when they come we chip it in, and then if there's a bigger stuff or anything, we stack it around there. I hate how the scrap laying around the place.
So these are the ones that are still on milk. Hopefully they'll be big enough soon. So that's that for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.